So that was yuck.
It's always yuck.
Oh,
Everything's yuck.
it's always very yuck. Speaking of yuck, let's do a podcast.
No thanks. All right.
Ooh, okay. Calm. Gonna jump in. Let's go. Right. Howdy, howdy, howdy. That's how I'm starting. Welcome back to Just Not Greek podcast with myself, Matthew, and you.
Matthew.
Yay, double. Nice. Well, it's only been a week and we're back again. Look at this, doing frequent work. Isn't that fun, Jamie?
It's yeah, sure. I like the long breaks where we don't do anything. That's quite nice.
And now we're back to do it all the time, which I think is what the people maybe want. I don't know. But today we're doing something a bit different. There's definitely cricket happening somewhere. We know Jofra got 6 wickets. That's very exciting. BBL's over. Hurrah!
BB
Let's all
lol.
celebrate. BB lol. Sorry. But I was thinking, let's not talk about that. Because what if there was cricket happening somewhere else? What if there was fictional cricket happening? Would that be exciting, Jamie?
I think that's more exciting than actual cricket. Unless
it's
it's baseball, it's more exciting.
because what I love, we're gonna talk about it, but what I love about it is I don't think there is one adaptation of cricket I have seen that does it faithfully or does it well. Because I think it's very difficult to do to try and portray something that is not universally watched or liked, maybe, but and then trying to make it appealing to a general audience. I think it's very difficult to do. And I think they have to do little quirks to try and make it more interesting.
Well,
So we're
we've
gonna look.
watched three different things for this, and I
Yes,
think only two actually represent
yes, that is
the
true. That is very true. So we're going to talk about those three things, but just briefly, I took to Twitter earlier this month or January earlier, and I asked what some of your fave ones were, and we got a lot of responses. I was a bit overwhelmed because on Twitter I feel like because we're still up and coming. I feel like I have to reply to every people who respond to me. And I was like, this is a lot of people for a lot of cricket stuff. I was like, but we had a lot. There was things from like Dad's Army, which I've seen, Outside Edge series, which is about actually cricket. There's Inspector Morse, there's a Mitchell and Webb sketch, the sketch show. There's a 2018 film which I'd seen called Breathe, which has Andrew Garfield, and Claire Foy. And it's only got a cricket at the beginning, but it's just very, very similar to something we're going to talk about later, which is set in the 1920s. And also, there's one thing I wasn't aware of. There's Dale Steyn popping up in an Adam Sandler film, which I never expected.
There's
So
also that Hollywood, the Pakistan Hollywood uh, cricket film that was going
oh
to
my
have
god,
Mohammed
yeah.
Amir in before he like
Yeah,
scored a few
maybe. Yeah, it
nobles.
must have been. Yeah, I think
Was
it
it
was,
Amir
wasn't
or
it?
Asif? It
I
was
think it
one.
was Mohammed Amir or Mohammed Asif. I forget. I remember that now. Goodness gracious. There's a lot of cricket decisions that are made, um, and film decisions, but I think we'll probably do a part two and look at some of those because there are definitely a few ones in there which I quite enjoy a lot. I think the Dad's Army one in particular is quite fun. But today, we're going to look at three of my personal faves, um, which is going to be fun. Why? My podcast. I don't know because I just thought I don't know. I remember like it showing up in one of them we're going to talk about, and then I was like, what else do I like as a kid? And then I went back and I was like, oh, they've all got cricket in. Was this like a subconscious thing from my parents? Be like, you all like cricket, so here's some like child stuff you will enjoy with cricket in. But we're going to talk about those and the way they do that. How does that sound, Jamie? You excited?
I am excited. I
Yeah.
was very glad that a couple of them were less than 5 minutes long.
Yes, yes.
The other one, I was not glad it was 20 minutes.
20 minutes. I did say that you could skip to the cricket-ish bit, but it's
But
fine.
we'll get to it.
Well, I think we'll start with that one because I think that's most loosely based cricket.
I don't think that's even based.
Well, we're gonna start off Sooty, the Sooty show. I love the Sooty. It's the episode Just Not Cricket, which steals our name, which I think
Yeah,
is a bit rude
I
from
think
a show
I think
20,
we
30
should
years
like
ago.
we should file a lawsuit for plagiarism against Sooty.
I think
And
so.
really weird. Like
Mm,
this has to be like 20, 30 years ago. I
yeah.
didn't know Simon Pegg was immortal.
Doppelganger, right?
Yeah.
He does well. He's doing well for himself. So you watched the whole thing. I also rewatched the whole thing earlier. The whole basic synopsis is Matthew, hey, that's me, um, gets a call from a local cricket club who's doing a charity match, and they want celebrities to play the local club. And they pick him as the last person on the list. The thing that kind of broke me in this was Sue, the little panda, saying when Matt says he's going to do it, and he's saying this is all well and good, Matthew, but I'm forgetting something. You can't play cricket. I'm like, oh, owie, that feels like that's that me.
Also,
um,
side note, I didn't realize she was a panda.
yeah, she's a panda, isn't she?
I don't know.
Is Sue? I'm pretty sure is Sue from Sooty and Sweeb a panda? Yes.
All right. I'm just it
Can't judge
might
my Sooty knowledge.
it might just be like the proportions of puppet.
Pandas are always that size.
Yeah, it might like I don't know. Maybe it's that pandas don't normally wear like dresses and umpire outfits.
Maybe not.
Maybe
Well,
that's
Sooty's
sort of
also a
thing.
bear, so maybe yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, so basically chaos ensues. Sweep says, "How's that?" which I very much enjoy. Um, but yeah, basically in the end, Ian Botham drops Matthew for the celebrity match. And they end up just playing a little game of cricket at a club, but not really cricket.
And
So what
not to confuse Ian Botham actually being in it, he was
off
just
screen,
yeah,
but I'm betting he was at the end of the phone.
cool. That's a headcanon cameo, sure.
Yes, 100%.
All right.
So yeah, part of this thing about me, the cricket media stuff is we're gonna talk about how accurate cricket is represented, and I'm gonna say this is absolute bin stuff.
Like I think with this and another one of the ones we're watching, you
Mm.
have to give some sort of leeway because it's a children's show and they have
Yeah,
to like
100%, 100%.
cater it to children. But then like they're not even trying to educate on top of that. Like, ah,
There's like a bit when they try. There's like they're at like the kitchen counter, and he's like, "This is how you bowl," and there's the wickets, and that's a salt shaker, and it goes over, and that kind of stuff. But then it gets to like the park, and it's just sort of like,
we're not,
"What?
no, no,
What
no.
is
Go back
this?"
to the kitchen because
Go on.
even that was fucking nonsense. It's like, go on, have a bowl. I'm just gonna sweep, not like sweep,
Yeah,
like sweep with a broom this plum
yeah,
over to the other side of the counter.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
another plum goes off the edge, and then Sooty just knocks his salt bales
How's that?
without a ball, without Sooty knocks it, like stumps him without
Stumped
a
him.
plum. You can't like that's not
You can't
legal
stump
at
someone
all.
without plum.
I'm pretty sure Bumble said that.
Yeah. So yeah, that it's
Oh,
it also there's a funny bit in it, just that because it annoys me. Not annoy it doesn't annoy me because I love City. I think it's great. It's something I grew up with. But like it's Matthew comes running into that kitchen scene doing a full pelt fast bowl, and it's like, oh, how's that? And then like goes on and being like, oh, this leg spinner's just got 10 for 6. I'm like, you
yeah.
what? You're a you just bowl fast. Why do you say you're a leg spinner? And why are you throwing in this cricket jargon to like kids who are like, 5 or 6? They're gonna what?
Like the amount of times he said full toss.
Yeah, yeah.
Ridiculous. Like maybe one was on a length. That was the closest to being a full toss. And it's ironic because in the episode he's being a full tosser. Honestly, to be
Yeah.
fair, they're all
Mm.
being dickheads this episode.
100%. They are like, there's not one person. Maybe Sweep just gets along because he's just a fool. But like, they're other than that, they're all just like the entitlement of like Sue as well. To say like, no, you're out. You do it. This is out. You can't be out. So it's like, no, that's not how cricket works. But it's fine. It's fine. Let's talk about the game stuff. So I like there's little bits where it's like this is we recognize this is what you do in cricket. Here's the coin toss. Do you want to bat a ball first? Sweep's like, I'm gonna bat. It's like, cool, that sounds like cricket.
And that's the
Um
end of the
and
direct
that's
comparisons to cricket.
so they're at a cricket club as well. They're at a club, but they're not on the pitch. You can see the pitch in the backdrop. They're on the side of it. And I'm like, why didn't you just go to a park? Just go to the park and play cricket. Like, we do that. That feels like more accurate to what this is. So they're at the edge, they're on the outfield. Sooty's up first behind one giant pad because obviously he's tiny. He's got a cute little cricket bat, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
And I thought that's going to be fun to see how they bowl a ball at a little bear. And then Matthew just sneaks up and like makes him jump and he falls over his stumps. And I guess he's out hit wicket. I guess that's how that works.
I mean, I don't think there's anything in the laws of the game that explicitly states you can't scream in the face of a batsman before you've bowled the ball and force them to like hit wicket.
Yeah,
Like
no.
technically, both Sooty and Sweep's wickets being hit wicket
Yeah,
is out.
it's yeah.
I question the legality of the method. The
I will double check with the MCC and the laws of the game whether the ball has to be delivered first. Because surely that's ball in play. And I think this is taking it too far. But
honestly, when he was going, I can show you a way to get someone out without bowling first. I was like, you're not going to show man card, are you? Not.
can you imagine? Like sweeps at the other end, he just man cadded him. That would be the greatest thing.
They're doing all this nonsense that makes no sense, and they suddenly just drop man card out of it. What?
That would have been great. I would love that. But also like Matthew bigs up the big I am being like, I'm a great bowler, blah 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 blah, and then doesn't bowl. It's like, okay, fine, classic. But then he bats. He bats pretty well for park stuff.
Yeah, he does quite well considering two puppets
Yeah,
bowling at him. Yeah,
it's very accurate to going down the park and just lobbing a ball or someone who doesn't really play cricket and just whacking it for ages. I can relate.
Yeah, that's
But yeah, other than his disqualified tactics, he bats good. So then obviously because Sooty and Sweep can't really bowl, they do a little bit with Sweep where Sweep runs up and he goes, he bowls it.
even well, that's not even a bowl though, is it? It's just like a netball pass.
Well, he is a dog.
Well, yeah, I'm not like giving him any shit for it. Like, what else can they do?
Yeah, fair. So, I mean, at least they have an action of someone throwing the ball and the batter hitting it and be like, okay, that's a start. Um, and then you get into City's cricket machine, which is basically to me feels like the first bowling machine. And then, yeah. So they basically chuck a load of tennis balls at Matt for the last bit of the episode, and he can't really hit them all at the same time and ends up falling over his stumps and stuff and basically forfeits the game somehow and loses
because if you
somehow.
leave the pitch, you are disqualified.
Yeah,
that is how it works.
I don't know how he loses that game. He's scored like 100 and it's like, well, no, you've lost, so you're a bad loser. It's like, no. He very much bowled them out for like none and got 100. But technicalities.
Yeah. And again, like the legality of using a bowling machine, like if you want to just say, yeah, they can use a bowling machine because they're a bit shit.
Yeah.
You can kind of let that slide. But like it being of magic nature, I think that goes a bit too far. I think that goes against like the morals.
Whenever there's magic involved, yeah, stop it.
Like if he's got magic used against him, he needs a bit of magic on his own team. Like it's only fair.
So imagine that being in the MCC laws. Can't use magic. Oh dear. But yeah, it's silly and it's obviously a kid's show and all that kind of stuff. And it's like here's some silly cricket and stuff. And I can appreciate the little tiny bits they sometimes do. But yeah, it is park bin stuff.
Awful. My last note is just I spent 20 minutes of my life watching this.
And you had a great time.
I had a time.
Yeah, it was a time. So
I had emotions watching it, and they weren't all consistent.
So out of 10, what are we going to give that for cricketness?
For cricketness,
Yeah.
I don't- it has some
Mm.
minor
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff.
Very minor. Yeah.
So one,
It mentions cricket.
yeah,
It says the word cricket, and so it is cricket. So I think it lives up to the title, just not cricket. So we can learn a lot.
it is
Uh,
as bad as we are.
and that's the review that we're putting on our socials. That might be our bio actually. It's as bad as we are.
Yeah, title of
Um
the app sorted.
right. So next one is which it's again loose, but it's got cricket in it. This is Thomas the Tank Engine or Thomas and Friends. Choo choo. Let's go. So this one is called Train Stops Play. I think one of our podcast names is originally going to be like Podcast Stops Play or something like that. All these little kind of cricket isms.
We have a wedding stops play.
Sorry.
We have wedding stops play.
Oh, we have Wedding Stops Play. That is actually, yeah,
Yeah,
that's one of our episodes. Yeah, yeah, that's cute. Nice. I remember that. Good day.
yeah, you should do. It was like your wedding.
Yeah, it's nice. Right. So this one, you've got little Bluebell engine Stepney, choo choo. Um, got some trucks. Off he goes. And then he has to stop at a signal, and there's a little cricket match going on. Woohoo! And basically, they stop at a signal, watch the game. The batter hits a six, and that six ends up going into one of the trucks that Stepney is pulling. Then Stepney goes away, and then it's all like chaos ensues where they have to get the ball back and then bring it back to the game, which is effectively that's the episode. There you go. That's it.
That's the story.
But there's a few little notes that I think are fun to digest.
Mm.
Um,
I think, firstly, the plot on like a cricket match happening and them losing the only ball.
yes, that's been ingrained in my mind forever.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest plot hole of the whole thing. Why would they not have other balls?
That they're a struggling club. It's 2023. They're really trying to get hold of players, and budget cuts. They can only get one ball for the entire season. I just love that it's like,
I mean, sure, you're basically describing our cricket team, but I've got two cricket balls.
okay, yeah.
So I think
It's just that shot of like all the little cricket players here and their little model jumpers. And it's like, oh, one and only ball. I will not ever forget that. It's just so stupid, but I love it.
honestly,
Um,
when the car is going after the train and the train driver's like, well, if they want a race, I'll give them
I,
a race. What what has happened that implies to you they want a race?
oh, there's loads of cricket players in that car.
Or
Let's
or that
drive
car's
faster.
going a bit fast and in the same direction as I am. Let's have a race.
Imagine that in real life. The
Now,
train's going along, being like, that car's going quick. I'm gonna go quicker. Smash. I also love the fact that they stop at the signal. The driver literally says, "Good, we can watch the game." And then the ball they literally watch the batter hit the ball for six to where they are, and then the narrator's like, oh, then the signal went clunk and off the train went. They never noticed the ball went behind them. It's like you just said you were watching the game. Did you get? Is that just a real like entitlement of cricket? Being like, I got so bored so quickly that forgot after one ball and carried on. It's like, but no, they didn't notice apparently. Um, but yes, obviously with the racing stuff. So they race across Sodor. All the cricket players are in Caroline, the car, trying to catch up with the train so they can get their one and only ball back. That must take hours. Like that's not going to be done in like 10 minutes. They're chasing all across like the island. And then they get there, they get the ball, and they're like, oh, we got to get quickly back. I'm like, the day's gone. The game's over. The sun's setting in a second. You probably just started the game. Like, oh, have they all gone to get the ball?
I was very unclear about that. I thought there was only one person in the car, and then Ringo
They're
was
all there.
like, "Oh, all the cricketers." I only see what I don't know what's going on.
It drives me a bit nuts. And I also love my final point again because there's not much cricket that happens on it, but like They get back, and the narrator's like, everyone enjoyed watching the game. I'm like, what crowd? Like, and like the crowd, there's a smattering of people that are there. Did they wait whilst all the team left for like 4 hours to get the ball? To be like, oh, they'll be back. It's fine. We'll wait for the game to restart. It's club cricket. It's not like you're at a test match at Lords being like, oh yeah, I've got to pay for this ticket. Why are you sitting around waiting for this game to happen again? But to be fair, the guy who hit the six into the truck must have been playing above his league, because that's a massive hit.
I mean, either that or he's playing against Puppet.
Yeah, true. Or a bowling machine.
Yeah,
But yeah, oh, it's silly, but I think it's fun.
honestly, to be fair, they do have like some semi-competent field placing.
Okay.
This is my field analysis corner.
Wow. From Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh,
Let's go.
absolutely.
Let's go. Oh, wow. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Right. So we're looking at it. Have we actually got 11 players on the field, first of all?
No,
If,
I've counted 8 fielders. Hold on, I want to see.
okay. There's one right in front of the side screen, so I'm really not sure why they're there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I've got 8 as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be
So
someone in
like
deep cover.
I've counted bowler, keeper, short
Hmm.
fine leg, square leg, mid wicket point, third man, and long backstop.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what that's there for. Like, very fine, fine leg. But also, here's back to my other point. The crowd enjoyed watching the game. Where is the crowd?
I mean,
What is the crowd? There is
it's
no
like
crowd.
four
There's like
people, maybe.
there's like someone's dad, and then like someone else.
Yeah, and it's
But like,
weird
oh,
because the six goes in the direction of the sight screen,
did he
but the,
scoop it
but I mean, no, it he bats from facing the
off of the
sight
other
screen.
end? Okay, so it obviously
So
changed overs.
I mean, that's not shown explicitly in the show. So
No.
I was,
Well, I don't know. I wonder how long they were saying, good, we can watch the game, whether they were there for like 5 minutes. Um, but I guess you can't really do anything with
I don't
stick
know.
figures.
I mean, I suppose not. But like, give them some credit. It is a kind of like the weird back long stop is,
Odd. But
yeah,
the sight screen looks very cute. They've got an umpire in there, which is also very cute. They've got a wicket keeper crouching down, which I think is very good attention to detail.
absolutely. And like they come back and they have another field placement.
Oh, you got another one. Okay, yeah, nice.
Absolutely. And you see more of the crowd, at
Yeah.
least.
You've got Bulgy Wolgy, the bus in the background.
Yeah,
It's a hen house at this point. But yeah,
absolutely.
see, this is what I mean. This is what I mean by this is an absolutely ridiculous shot. You've got to get absolute. You've got to get huge height on this to get it up there in the first place. But then it's also got to drop. Like you could maybe look at clearing that, but you've got to really like precisely get it up. And then
Like,
the driver didn't notice.
and just looking at the bat placement, it looks like he's done a helicopter shot and he's
Yeah.
gone
Is
up.
this after he's hit it?
No, this is like towards the end when they've got the ball back.
Oh, so we're back playing. So
Oh wait,
I
no,
wonder
no,
is
sorry. This is the sixth shot that goes into the train.
so maybe it's a bit of more like MS Dhoni like helicopter.
Yeah,
Like yeah, okay.
yeah. So this is the sixth shot before because they do when they get it
Yeah.
back, they alter
Okay.
the field very slightly to move this guy
Yeah.
back a little bit.
Nice, I like that. That's exactly what you want. And there's two kids down there watching, so there's a bigger crowd now. Like
Yeah. All this
that's
nonsense with the train and the ball going missing, it brought in a lot of
that little
attention.
stance though. That little stance, that batter is great. Look at that. That's perfect. That's what you're teaching in coaching schools.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Like, look at him. He's having a great time. That little girl in the pink dress as well. It's like, whoa, I love cricket. To be, I think it looks great. Like, I think it's such great little model workmanship and stuff. And I think it's just so scenic and great. It looks good. It's silly what happens, but I can appreciate the model work and everything that's gone into that. I think it's fun.
Like you can tell a cricket nerd's had a little bit of a
Oh,
go with the
100%.
field and he's been
Yeah,
like, right,
because someone who
you're
doesn't know what
going
cricket is, yeah, is going to chuck anyone everywhere. But there's literally people in actual cricket fielding positions, which
exactly
I think is really cute.
other than back long stop.
None of the back long stop. But it might be an inexperienced keeper and the bowler keeps bowling it down the leg side, so they've got to have someone behind. I've been in those games before. So that's but yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I enjoy this one a lot. I remember test match special a couple of years ago. We're talking about trains and cricket, and I remember tweeting him being like, "Hey, there's this Thomas episode where they lose the ball," and it got shared and got likes, and that was before our time on this, but yeah, I remember that well. But yeah, it's nice. I don't know what crowd is there. I don't know why they've only got one ball, but I think it's fun. I love it a lot. It's that's the one I saw as a kid, and then I've gone back and see what other things I liked, and they've all got cricket. So but yeah, that's fun. What would you give that out of cricketness out of 10?
I mean, it's not really about the cricket.
It's
I don't
not, but yeah, but
really
it
get
is.
that.
I guess what kind of cricket, what cricket can you take out of it, which is applicable to cricket real life, and how much is accurate? Would you say? I think it's probably fairly up there, apart from them only having one ball.
I mean, the fact that they've got like semi-competent, if unconventional field placing, I think that's pretty solid. I don't think the last one has that.
No, doesn't have any field placing at all.
I think this has the most cricket nerdiness in it. Someone's that likes cricket a bit has
Yeah,
gone and had a bit of a cricket captain play around
I
with it.
think so. Yeah,
It's hard to give it more than a six
yeah.
because it's
Well, I think six is fine because the batter hits it for six into Stepney's
yeah,
truck, and off they go. I think that's fair. We can give
yeah.
Thomas a 6 out of 10. But it's fun. It's a silly little story, but it's cute, whatever. It's cool. Right, let's get on to the last one, which is Doctor Who. Woo! You love Doctor Who, don't you, Jamie?
It is a show.
You love it. Yeah, we both love it. So so when I was doing my research for this, I came across
The fact that you've just done research for this is
but
just
I
wild.
wanted to see if I could find out the actual scores. This is what I wanted to find out because it's very unclear in the show. But there was a whole, you have wiki fandoms for fan thing, like there's a Doctor Who fandom and there's a whole section on cricket. And
Why? How much
well,
cricket is there in Doctor Who?
you'd be surprised because the first Doctor, William Hartnell, in the TV episode Volcano, um, landed in the middle of Lord's Cricket Ground during a Ashes match between England and Australia whilst on the run from Daleks. So if that is not quintessentially English enough for you, that's very silly. But I didn't know that happened. So like now I know, and I'm burdened with this knowledge that I have to watch this episode, which is lost. I'm annoyed. But this episode in particular is the fifth Doctor, Peter Davison. Doctor lands in 1925 and joins in the cricket game for some reason. I think they believe he is somebody else. It's been a while since I've watched the episode, but then he joins the team. But yeah, story details, who needs them? The 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 actual scores I could get up is the Doctor comes into bat at 11,
Mhm.
and the team are 56 for 9 on the green deck, which the captain says is the ball's keeping a bit low. If you're 56 for 9, I think it's probably doing a bit more than that. Um, our boy asks for middle stump, which is a very nice detail, obviously, which you would do in cricket. And what I also appreciate is that he doesn't just get middle stump straight away. He does what every cricketer does. He has to shuffle a bit to find it and then finds it and makes his mark, which is cute.
I will say the one thing about that, the camera angle makes it look like he's showing the off stump.
Yeah.
So I'm taking a point off for that.
But if you had that kind of Sky Sports angle down the pitch, then it might be different. But
I mean, it's the Doctor Who director's fault there.
yeah,
He should have
they
been on that.
should have done that. Then we see the last score is 144 after 56 for 9, but I think they get more than that. They win easily, and the Doctor gets like 3 or 4 wickets or whatever, but we don't really know. It basically finishes by going, "Oh, spiffing game, old boy, let's go." Like, okay, I want to know the scores. What were the stats? But yeah, what were your opinions first off, straight off the cricket bat?
I don't think it for a segment that showed a lot of cricket. I don't think it actually showed a lot of cricket, if you know what I mean. Like there was a lot of cutting of balls or the bowling
Mm,
towards the batsman was out of frame or the
yeah.
shot he plays. Oh, we've got one of him hitting the ball, gone out of frame, move on
Yeah,
to the next one. It's just weird that this like
it is weird.
5 minutes like passes for television at some point. Like how low were the standards that you could just put like 5 minutes of cricket on during
I know,
a
I know.
drama, I guess. I
Yeah, I
wouldn't
during a
fucking
science
see
fiction
that in like
show.
House of the Dragon or
Oh, to be fair, if the House of Dragon season 2 stops 5 minutes for a cricket game, I'm not watching anything else again for the rest of my life. That is the only thing I'm ever going to watch.
I mean, I'd be totally down for that. But I'm just it's weird.
It's bizarre. It is bizarre. But I guess a lot of these, I guess, came out within 10, 20 years of each other. I think they're all like pre 2000. I think they all have that kind of similar vibe of being like English and cricket is all this, blah, blah, blah. It does feel a bit like that at times. But there's one thing it's when the doctor's bowling at the end, it's the frigging appeals that drive me a bit insane. Like he bowls someone like middle stump and he's like, oh, what's that?
How's that?
Like he's out.
Is
No,
that
you don't need to appeal. He's out.
uh,
Like,
there are some moments when the umpire's just looking down.
I know.
Like you can maybe argue that he's looking to see if it's his foot's over the
Yeah.
line. Like they'd give a shit in 1925. But he's not even looking towards the
Yeah.
crease. He's just looking down. And as
I
soon as the
know.
doctor's through, he's uh, and,
There's also one point where the doctor bowls, I think when you were saying earlier when it cuts out of frame, he bowls, which looks like it's gonna be an absolute beamer. And then there's like it's out of frame for like 2 seconds, and then there's an appeal. I'm like, what on earth has happened in that instance? Because it wouldn't have bowled him, it wouldn't have hit him in line or hit the stumps of his LBW. That is 100% hitting him in the chest. Like, has he fallen over the stumps?
yeah, it's got to be either hit wicket or he's actually anticipated the beamer and
Yeah.
hooked it.
Or he's
And
dead. Oh no. It's just like it's it's bizarre. But there's also the fact that he comes in at 56 for 9 on this pitch where like the captain's like, oh, I got a duck, old boy. And like, shut up. Um, um he comes in at 56 for 9. No one's doing any good because it's literally you've just gone onto a field and started playing cricket on it. Um, and again, last score we see is 144. And everyone's been like, oh, this doctor chap's very good at cricket. It's like, no, he's literally one of the best players you've ever seen who's taking from 56 for 9. He's made a kind of Leach Stokes partnership in this frigging match. And they're
literally
just
what I
going,
put in my notes, Leach Stokes.
and literally all they're like is, oh, he's batted very well, this doctor guy. Or it's like, no, he's great. Like, give him some plaudits. I know it's 1925, but show some hype.
I don't think high society in 1925 knows the meaning of hype and vibe.
Well, they should.
They
But it's
haven't
like,
been exposed to baseball yet.
but yeah, it's a lot of like ripping performance and oh, tally ho, old boy. I my final note is posh bloke says posh thing. Um,
Yeah, which I think is actually quite a very accurate representation of cricket. What it
yeah,
is, but
and the time I think is very accurate. Like there's the film I talked about earlier, Brie with Andrew Garfield and Claire Foy is set at a similar time where cricket is a kind of function event where people of high standing in society or upper class blah 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 will go along and watch these games, which is what you've got in this episode as well. Like you've got people from high up families and stuff happens in the episode that they're there to watch cricket as a social thing, like it's as a social standing, and that's accurate. And they're the wealthy kind because they can spend their time watching people just yelling how's that constantly, they don't need to. So I get it would be posh people like that, and I get it, but it's a lot of him being like, oh well, I got a duck, old boy. I'm like, okay.
I think it's like very shallow references to just make it passable as a cricket scene.
I know. um but yeah, it has a scoreboard, which I think is the only one out of these that has a scoreboard, and it has the person changing the score, which is that
Oh
happens.
no, Sooty one has a
Oh,
scoreboard.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So do we give more marks to City for that?
no.
Oh, okay. Well, this one makes sense, I guess. Like it's got the wickets and it's got the stuff and whatever. I'm just so annoyed about the doctors appealing. It really gets, especially because you don't have a real final ending of the game. It's just like he bowls the ball and bowls someone out, and they're like, "Oh, well, let's go up to the house, old boy." I'm like, "No, what happened?"
Who won? Well, I assume
Yeah.
Doctor's team
I'm
won.
guessing you won, or was it a draw? Did you get all the wickets? Because you only see him get like three or four.
He did.
I
He made a one-handed catch at like second
Oh, we
slip,
did, didn't he? That was a sick catch,
which
to be
is
fair.
a weird place. He's obviously your best player, and he's at second slip.
Yeah. I
It's all
know.
right.
Oh gosh. But yeah, very silly. Have you got anything else to say about Doctor Who, Crick?
I'm glad it's over.
Well, next time we're gonna do just not football because the 11th Doctor plays football and we can do that.
Conflicting
um
feelings, Doctor Who versus football.
Right. So what we're going to give Doctor Who then? I think it's fairly as annoying as it is. I think it does accurate representations of what cricket is. I don't think the pitch is very accurate. I mean, it could be. I don't know what pitches were like in 1925. It would be an uncovered surface, I guess. Pitches would do a bit. Um, I I think probably I'd give it like a seven. What would you say?
Yeah, I think I'm retroactively marking Thomas down because I can't
Mm,
give this less than Thomas,
sure. Okay.
but I don't think it's actually wholly representative of it. I think
Yeah.
it's just going, out there. Oh, I got a shot.
Yeah.
Be like
Well, yeah, yeah.
cricket ref, bang, done. People know
True.
it's cricket with
Yeah.
it. I think it's a shallow. So drop Thomas down to I can't no. I'll give them both a five. I can't
Both are five. Okay.
because I think the Thomas field placings is just too good and
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I think that's fair. I think I probably would just pick the post of Doctor Who being up a little bit, just because I guess you actually have cricket being played and stuff happening, I suppose. But is what is. Um. But yeah, I think that was fun.
yeah, it was nice
It's
to do a different
yeah.
thing.
I think it's fundamentally it shows it's very difficult to do cricket in a kids show and make it interesting.
It's
And
very difficult to do cricket in a professional sporting environment and make it interesting.
well, BB lol. So I think in the future we'll see what it is in other TV shows that aren't just aimed for kids and films and things like that, and see how they are perceived. I think that could be fun. Um, Again, some are better than others. I think some are quite bad. I think some are worse than this. So we will see. But yeah, that was cricket in media. Woo! Is that the title? I don't know.
It's not
Oh,
going to be after that weird noise.
who knows?
I didn't have a lot of time to sort of think of a not correct, so my natural like inclination was to go to Reddit and to who would win. So I looked it
Right.
through like the top posts of all time.
Yeah.
That's a one that we could sort of at least relate to or be able to contribute in. That wasn't like, oh, could 20,000 coked up kids led by Alexander the Great beat 10,000 high teenagers
Sure.
led by like that's one of the top ones.
Yeah.
So I found this kind of wholesome one. So
Okay.
who is the strongest person my son can beat using his claimed feats? Bearing in mind this is 2 years ago, so this child is five now.
Right.
So they're like 2 years stronger.
Yeah.
Like this child claims they can jump to the moon, they can beat up your barber for taking your hair, which like I don't have a barber mate, so that's not as good as the
No.
one you think it is. I'm going to cut my vegetables with my carrot, which if you think about it, it's like saying, well, only diamonds can cut another diamond.
Yeah.
Pretty big. Uh, owns a child's punch bag he enjoys. Uh,
Oh.
uh,
Okay.
uh, he said, I'm okay after walking into a door. He doesn't notice the feeling of walking on his Lego, which is a massive feat of
That's big. Yeah.
dangerability. You can't hurt me, he says when play fighting with his dad. I think that this child just can't feel pain, which I think has its
Yeah.
positives and negatives, but overall decent.
Yeah.
Uh, he says, I'm going very fast like Lightning McQueen, so
Yeah.
which OP puts as 200 miles an hour. Uh, He's fast like Spider-Man. Zoom. Uh,
Zoom.
yeah, with with five O's.
I, I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. Uh, he's three. Doesn't stop unless there's food. He's five now, so
Yeah.
even more. He knows the alphabet backwards
Oh goodness.
and says
I
he
don't.
can hear his mum when she's over 10 miles away.
What?
Right?
No.
Yeah. So
What? Okay.
I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that. I
I don't. I mean, I'm like, what?
That's just what I found to sort of end the video,
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Oh goodness. Stepping on Lego without pain though is an absolute dream.
right? Like
Yeah.
I think someone in the comments did the math to say that he could do like he would be going 25,000 miles an hour
Yeah.
to have to jump to the moon,
Yeah.
which is pretty solid.
I think so. That's
But
very fast.
yeah, so I think this child is overpowered and
OP. Yeah.
is a threat to humanity, really.
God. Get him to face Sooty's cricket machine, and then he won't be anymore.
I reckon he'd hit at least 1-4 facing that.
Yeah, I think so. Without even looking with eyes closed.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, this is why I'm not on Reddit. Because if I went on Reddit, I'd never like not be beyond this stuff for like like take up my life. Oh goodness. Well, I do love a just not quick. So thank you for finding a nice, wholesome, fun one. Very cute.
I have tried my best for the majority of 5 minutes.
Good job. Good job. Well, next time you won't be watching a 20-minute Sooty episode. Maybe you'll be. Um, but yeah, I don't know what we're going to be doing next time. I think we're going to try and keep them as bish bash bosh as frequent as we can. I think that'd be nice. Um, but yeah, have you got any kind of closing remarks, Mr. Jamie?
Um, I think it's really fun how you can hear me talking without me moving my mouth. I think that's
Yeah,
really weird. You've
it's
not said
very
anything.
cool.
You've not,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm glad you've acknowledged it now.
yeah,
I think it was kind of fun when I went through a different dimension
you did went through
earlier.
several. Yeah,
I just wanted to bring that up.
yeah. If you did notice it, do let us know in the comments.
If you did notice
Too.
it, subscribe.
So yeah, if you notice that you have to subscribe now, that is just your obligated right. But yeah, we'll be back maybe next week or week after, who knows, I can't remember. um but yeah, we're gonna try and do these little kind of extra little different ones. I think they're quite fun. um but yeah, it's just fun to talk about something cricket, but not very much not. But yeah, as per usual, do like us on the socials. Where can people find us, Jamie?
Just not Crick Pod, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok for some reason,
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, boy.
Not on
That's
OnlyFans
it.
yet. We'll be there
Not yet.
one day.
Maybe we'll get a Patreon and Twitch next. And we're gonna get a Twitch if you can get your camera working.
So we're not getting a Twitch.
No, we're not getting Twitch
Cool.
now. But yeah, we'll be back soon. So if you have watched this, thanks. And we will see you next time. Thumbs up.
You'll
I guess Jamie's doing a double thumbs up. You can't see him because he's frozen in time, but he's doing a double thumbs up.
you'll see us. I won't see you.
Oh, bye bye.